My name is Kist. I'm an exercise physiologist for the weight management program here at the Center for Better Health and Nutrition. Our main goal is to improve the overall health of kids in our program and kids in the community by improving their eating habits, getting them to exercise more. We go into schools, community events and things like that to help kind of limit the barriers to getting them here and helping them make these changes at home. So we've been using InBody for about 5 years now. We have 7 of the 230 models and we have one 270 that we use. We also have a 370 at the hospital that we use as well. So we look at their body composition when they start and we measure it every 3 months. So when we first started our program, we just did circumference measurements, which didn't really give us a good idea of body composition. Then we switched to the RJL. The older devices, they really scared the kids. We considered a lot of other devices. We looked at bod pods, we looked at DEXA scanners. Cost was a big issue. They're very, very expensive. And space, they take up a lot of room. Our hospital is so big, we can't just send people different places to get tests done. And there's different processes for those. So we needed something that we could put in our clinic that we could specifically use just for our patients without having to make them go all over town for different measurements that we wanted. So I believe we saw InBody at an expo, and the consistency is huge because we go to so many different locations and we have so many different people that work in our program. It's hard to get consistent measurements. When we were doing circumference measurements, we had so many different people measuring them. We were getting different results every time and none of them really made any sense. So now I have a consistent device that I can use at 18 different locations. From a research standpoint, we use it in research projects. We look at our outcomes when we do reviews of our program and things like that, and we can look at these changes. And I think we're now finally getting consistent changes that are actually measurable, that we can look at and say, these are positive outcomes. So once we used it, we found it was well received by the kids. They liked it, they thought it was cool, kind of looks like a spaceship. Less intimidating, I'll say. So they would hop right on it. We would get the numbers. So that's one thing the old device didn't have. There's no results sheets. We just told them the numbers. So now they actually physically have a paper that I think is really cool. They can look at and see the changes, and it actually tracks their changes over time. I think the InBody has had a very positive impact on our program. Body composition is important for tackling childhood obesity because as these kids are growing at a rapid pace, and there's a lot of changes that are happening inside, and we want to see what those changes are. We'll have kids come in who necessarily, as they grow, they gain weight. So sometimes we have no change in like BMI, but they've improved their body composition and they've increased their lean muscle mass. So these are really good changes that we are seeing that we wouldn't necessarily know before. So some of our patients a few years down the road and say, hey, this really changed my life and I think it gave me I became a healthier adult by the education you guys gave me and the tools you gave me to be successful at a young adolescent age that they've carried on through adulthood.